Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa, hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry. Subscribe and like if you can, please, or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.
All right, and we're live. Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but video's good. Audio's good.
It's working.
The guest is here.
The guest is here. A very familiar guest to us.
It's me. I'm the guest. It's me.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, what's up, Jayson?
Oh man, not much. Just a squirrel just ran across the roof. That's about the only news I've got right now.
You should have just said your house is haunted. You know,
Yeah.
There you go.
You know?
It's probably, it's an old factory, so I'm sure someone died in here somewhere. Who knows?
You should have just been like, "Oh, that's Billy." Who's
Yeah.
Billy? Yeah, just the resident ghost, you know.
Oh my goodness gracious! It was the ghost of Gavin, and that person will know who they are. So there we go.
It is Tippy Tip, so she does know. She knows
Yes.
what is for sure.
Yes, we can talk about that. So yeah, not much to report. We had the sun disappeared and came back today.
The world didn't end.
The world is, I don't know. We could all just be the Matrix. Kind of had a glitch, and everything's back online. I'm happy. Comfy in my cocoon somewhere, being a battery, and life is good. Life is good. How about y'all? What's going on with y'all?
The boys work all the time. That's what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were conversing about how much freaking life just doesn't stop, and
No, it does not. It carries on.
it just gets busier. I got he'll be 6 months on Monday. 6 months.
Good Lord. Congrats.
Yeah.
Now, is that number 2, number 3, number 1? Number 3.
3 boys.
Been down this road before.
I have, yes, definitely. For
Gotcha.
Gabby, it's a breath of a smack in the face of reality and a breath of fresh air. But things are good. I really no complaints. Honestly, is it hard? Sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's why we're here, right? We're here to bring new life and
There you go.
and raise it and watch them become something. Hopefully.
All right. Rock and roll with that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So yeah, well,
not bore everybody to death.
No, you got a couple of really good projects that we want to talk about.
Okay, great.
Amuletto, right? Amuletto.
So yeah, Amuletto.
Oh, Chipper, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Chipper.
Amuletto is a YouTube platform that is like the best YouTube platform for short films, and like 3.7 million subscribers. We've got 19,000 views, which is amazing. We've kind of plateaued now, but my short film Chipper, which we shot in June of 22.
Yeah,
got it finished, post-production finished in September of that year, and then we started submitting to festivals all around the world. We submitted to about 110, 115 festivals, and we got accepted to about 30 of them.
Wow.
Which is not bad. That's, it's a pretty good ratio. We did not get accepted to any of the big boys like Toronto, Sundance, Slamdance, Palm Springs, South by, or Tribeca. And we were pretty much advised, just don't waste your money. But we're like, we're swinging for the fences. You never know.
That's right.
They were absolutely correct. All that money went for nothing. And but of the ones that we did get into, we won some awards, and the nice thing is that if you haven't seen Chipper, the trouble with the short film is I can't tell you much about it because the plot is, the thing's 20 minutes long, but it's a family drama dealing with an aging parent.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have all seen it, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That would be
yes.
embarrassing right now if you hadn't.
Nah.
The one thing I obviously I did not go to all 30 of these festivals. I've been to about 7 or 8 of them because it's expensive. And we haven't had any overseas. They've all been domestic. They've all been in the lower 48. Actually, we were in Alaska, and I couldn't afford to go to that. But some of these festivals are generous. Like we went to Stony Brook on Long Island, New York.
Mm-hmm.
They flew myself and my director up there 2 times.
Wow.
And we won the best short award, walked away with a drone and all kinds of swag. I mean, I'm like, all right, well, Long Island, I just fell off a truck. Here you go. It's like, I don't know what's happening here, but I like it. And they put us up in a nice hotel and picked us up and drove us around like celebrities. And so if anybody out there is a short filmmaker, or if they have features and shorts, of course, and you want to put your film in a festival, I am here to say Stony Brook, highly recommend. Matter of fact, got their hat on right now. More swag right here.
Represent, yeah.
Umbrella, a water bottle, a drone, bags, T-shirts. I mean, it just went on and on. And the guy that runs it, Alan Ingalls, he's a wonderful guy. And I'm remiss to say I can't remember the other gentleman's name, but they treated us like just wonderfully. And so anyway, I kind of lost track of thought there. I'm hiding my self view. I keep looking at myself. But yeah, so we won some awards. We won one down in Texas. We won one in Rome, Georgia, one in Macon, Georgia. And we did get into the Atlanta Film Festival, which is a big boy. And we didn't win or anything, but it was just an honor to be there. And so anyway, as you mentioned, Omeletto, Omeleto. It's on YouTube. It doesn't call it Chipper. It just has a picture of me and a different description, and then Chipper's, but it's there. Maybe we can throw the link up.
It's in our show notes. Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, check it out and like and share and write a comment. We'd appreciate it, even if you don't.
One thing I'll always say is I'm not usually one to enjoy short films only because I get too attached to characters. so trying to getting attached to a character in 20 minutes, and then it's like, oh, that's it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
It's depressing for me. I'm like, oh, I want more.
Sure.
But I have to say, Chipper was. I think the best cinema are things that invoke emotion. Right? They make you feel things.
What we wanted.
And going through that, seeing a family member, like having the experience of an aging, either a parent, grandparent, someone you're close to.
Careful. Yeah.
And going through it, and trying to navigate that. And the fact that you guys were able to convey those emotions in 20 minutes is beyond astounding in my
Powerful.
Thank you, Ryan.
Powerful. Yeah.
I cried. I actually did. I was like, it was so emotional. And I actually watched it 3 times between yesterday and today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
was so excited that you're the writers. Because I love Becky. Have you guys watched Becky? It's a horror film with Kevin James in it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy good.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's who wrote Chipper. So I was really excited.
Yeah, it's a husband-wife team from Georgia, Ruckus Sky and his wife Lane Sky, or Lane Sky and her husband Ruckus Sky, however you like it. Yeah, they're a writing team and they did a great job. I met with them in 2016 and I wanted a short. They said they'd write me a short film, and I had a bunch of stupid ideas that I don't even remember them now. But they said, "Well, what scares you the most, Jayson?" I said, "My parents getting older," and they're like, "We'll get back to you." And 2 weeks later, we had the first rough draft of that script, and and the whole script, to let Ruckus and Lane wrote a longer script. We had a 25-minute cut, and I personally thought it worked at 25 minutes, but I took the advice of some people who know better. But they said you're going to get in less festivals if the film's that long. You need to cut it. So we ended up cutting it some, and they weren't happy about that, and I respect that. But the film still works. It has a few holes in the plot because of the cuts. Like people don't know who the guy in the yard is. They don't understand where I got what I have in the box and all that, because that stuff got cut down too much. Mm-hmm. It's not perfect, but thank you very much for your kind words. That's the thing that the times I've gotten to go to the festivals, it's usually people who are older that come up to me and go, I went through that.
Yeah.
Thank you for making this film. I don't feel alone now, so that's, yeah. So it served its purpose.
Yeah.
I recently, oh, sorry, Chris.
No, go ahead.
I recently went through something. So my grandfather is one of 17 children. My maternal grandfather is one of 17.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a lot of family because of that. And one of my cousins, her name is Wendy. She has had a myriad of cancers in her life, and it came back, and she went through a lot of medical issues, obviously, because of that, and she decided to put herself on hospice. And my mom had said to me, hey, I'm going to see Wendy. Do you want to come with me? And I said, yeah, I really would. And she's one of my cousins who I'm closest to. And we had a moment, just her and I, and, she was holding my hand, and she said, she said, are you mad at me?
Really?
Yeah. And I said, for what? And she goes, well, I'm giving up. And I said, you're not giving up. I said, you're choosing to no longer be in pain.
Yeah.
And when I was watching Chipper, I think that's what got me was the actor who plays your father.
Yeah. Rick Andoska. Yeah.
When you said, do you, I forgot what the phrasing was, but you said, do you not want to go through with this? And I had a flashback to that moment a couple months ago before she passed. And that's what it's supposed to do. That's what good cinema is supposed to do, is make you feel. And that's why I shared that experience, because I think you guys achieved exactly what good cinema is supposed to achieve. And I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Very kind of you to say that.
Yeah. I think the only, like what Ryan's saying, the one thing that you can't deny is that the story is real.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, people coming up to you, reflection in Ryan's life. And the fact that, I think about my parents, so they're in Florida. I'm in New York. They're both in good health, but they're also both in their 80s.
Yep, mine too.
I'd be lying if I didn't say at least once a day, I didn't, worry about the phone call that could just happen.
Just this thing, just like your life is changing now. Here it is.
Exactly. So once again, it's real. If it's something that anybody could watch and probably immediately have a real factor come into play in their life, that they've either had or going through, or it could be looming in the future.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
it's universal.
Right.
Well, not 100%. Not everyone has the luxury of having parents that live a long time, but for those who do, it is a universal tale for many, many, many people. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the kudos, guys. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Look,
we're very proud of it. We've got one. Unless you're going to Kalkara, India, it's showing there in July. I won't be going.
Oh man, I'm going there in June, not July.
Dang
it!
It is. It has one more festival in the States in Los Angeles this 2 weekends from now, 19th, 20th, and 21st. Our film shows on Sunday the 21st at the Marilyn Monroe Theater at the Lee Strasberg Institute in West Hollywood. So I'm going out for that one. I think I have a ticket bought, but this project I'm working on, they just called and changed their schedule. So now it looks like fudge, so we'll see. I'm planning on going. So it'll be the last hurrah for Chipper. But
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
So
it turned out really well. Very proud of it.
You should be.
yeah, you should be for sure.
Thanks, and I'm thankful to Amaletto for letting for you have to apply, and they don't take everybody, and they took our film, and it's gotten in front of a lot more people that way, more people than it ever got in front of at the festival circuit. So we make zero money off of that, so it's just watch the commercials and watch the movie.
Yeah.
By the way, when you watch it on Amaletto, is it just like one commercial at the beginning and then you see the film?
Yeah,
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
I have a subscription. I don't watch commercials, but that's how it works. Okay, they don't interrupt the film. Okay, good.
No, they don't mess up in the middle of it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
get all emotional and attached, and then they cut.
I'd be mad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right in the middle of that scene, because that's right dead. The one that Ryan's talking about is right dead in the middle. So,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, what can you tell us anything about the one you're working on now?
Yeah, I can tell you, it's no secret. So this is a project called Fight Night. It's based on a true story. So in 1970 in Atlanta, Georgia, Muhammad Ali made his comeback fight. He fought Jerry Quarry at what was then called the Municipal Auditorium in downtown Atlanta, and nobody else would touch him. This is when he was switching from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
He had refused to be drafted, and he had been kicked out of boxing. And none of the typical Chicago, New York, LA, none of those cities would touch him. And Atlanta, the city too busy to hate, said, "We'll take you in." Which at the time, our governor at the time was a guy named Lester Maddox, who was nothing but hate. But due to some backroom dealings, the one and only African American, or everybody says black, the one and only black state senator, the very first one ever, a guy named Leroy Johnson, made a deal with Maddox because there was something going on with Maddox's kids. So basically he kind of blackmailed him, and Maddox was like, "All right, fine, you can come. But I want the Atlanta Police Department to guard him. I don't want those Nation of Islam thugs here, blah, blah, blah." So that's what happened. And my character, I play a guy named Herbert Jenkins, who was the chief of Atlanta Police for 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, all the way through civil rights and all that jazz in the 60s. He retired in 74. And so one of the very first, there were in 1947, Atlanta hired its first ever black cops. And there were 8 of them. One of them was a guy named J.D. Hudson, who by 1970 was a detective. And so my character puts J.D. in charge of Muhammad Ali's security. Him and 3 other cops, 3 other detectives. Well, some cops and detectives anyway. And so the fight goes off without a hitch. Everything's fine. It only went 3 rounds and it was over. Muhammad Ali won. But after the fight, there was a party at some local gangster's place. And his nickname was the Chicken Man. And he was a low level, trying to get to a higher level gangster in Atlanta, and hustlers, what they call themselves, hustlers. But all these other gangsters from New York, Chicago, Miami, St. Louis, LA, they all came to town for the fight, African-American gangsters. And they all went to the fight, and then they all went to this party. And at the party, a bunch of other black gangsters robbed all those gangsters at the party. And some people got killed, and then all hell breaks loose, and that becomes the headline. So the name of the project is Fight Night, the $1 Million Heist. And it happened. And so they're recreating all of this on a 8-episode limited series on Peacock. I don't know when it'll come out. We're still shooting it. And it stars Kevin Hart, Terrence Howard, Samuel Jackson. God, this is terrible. The guy I'm working with, Don Cheadle, he's the guy that I work with. And Taraji P. Henson are the stars.
Oh, wow.
And a young man named Dexter Darden, who was becoming a star. He was in the Maze Runner movies when he was a Disney kid. He plays Muhammad Ali. And the rest are just a bunch of local actors like us and some other guys. One of the guys from The Dead, I've forgotten his name now, but he was the who are the guys with the armor? What's the last year of the dead?
Oh,
The Commonwealth.
Yeah, he was the one in the red armor, the black fella.
Oh, Michael James Shaw?
Yeah, he's in it too. Yeah,
Hey.
I got to meet him. He's a really nice fellow.
Yeah, we know him well.
Yeah, I think I saw that on your internet presence that you guys know him. Yeah, he's in it. I mean, I'm one of the few white people in the thing. It's a black story, and the original casting in the first 2 episodes were directed by Craig Brewer. Craig Brewer, if you know who that is, Hustle and Flow, Black Snake Moan, Coming to America 2, Dolomite Is My Name, and a whole bunch of Empire. And Craig I worked with him in 2010 on the remake of Footloose. And that's how I know Craig. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I'm not working a whole lot. They're working a whole lot as my character is a supporting character. So I worked a little bit late March, a little bit of early April. No, I haven't even worked in April. Yeah, I worked all in March, and then I'm going back in another week or 2 and do some more. I'm in 5 of the 8 episodes, so that's what I'm. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm kind of like I said. I told you guys before we started. I'm scruffy right now, but I was
keep it clean
shaven, huh?
You got to keep it clean.
Got to keep it clean for this one.
You can't be a police chief looking like this guy.
No, there you go. Nice. Look at that long ass hair too.
That's the Gavin cut.
The Gavin cut. Yeah, this stuff that you can see, it's like it's a little long on top, but yeah, it's gray. They got it painted gray and all neat and clean. I'm in all these big wide lapels and wide ties from the 70s. I'm all neat and clean. Actually, I can probably pull up a picture.
That show, I want to let you know right now, that show is going to be very big.
Yeah,
I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen ads for it already. Peacock.
Oh, really?
Peacock is pumping it very hard.
Oh, are they?
I've already seen ads for it on Peacock, and like that's going to be they're really pumping that show up hard.
There you go.
Tip it a little down.
A little closer.
It's got like tip it towards the screen a little. One way or the other. Well, yeah, it's still shiny. We can't see it. We see your
like the Invisible Man in a suit.
Yeah. There, you have no head.
Just hold up the phone.
If you ever wonder what I see. You want to know what my grandfather Smith looked like? There he is. I don't know if you can see that or not, but what the hell is going on with this? Keep trying Wi-Fi. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I just suit and tie, neat and clean. Very cool. But yeah, luckily he wears glasses, so I get to wear my glasses. But that's good. Yeah, it was a wonderful. I think Craig Brewer definitely had a lot to do with it because I know several other very well known prominent actors in the area who also auditioned for it, and I was lucky enough to book the role. So
yeah, that's really cool.
Great. Thank you, Craig Brewer, if you ever see this. Thank you. So that's going on, and that shoots until June. So I'll probably work on it till beginning of May, on and off, and then whenever it comes out. I didn't know Peacock was shouting it out, so that's good.
Yeah, I just did a quick Google search, and like there's a lot of publicity about it.
Yeah,
Deadline and everybody is posting things. So
huge cast.
Yeah, I know. When I read that, I was like, "Holy crap!"
Especially because Peacock's becoming like one of the more prominent subscription streaming services out there.
Yeah,
and, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you follow Michael James Shaw on Instagram, I don't know if you guys look at his stories much, but I don't know if he's leaking. Like he'll have like old school photos, and I don't know if they're shots. They're probably not shots from the show, but there's I think there's hints to the show that he's putting out, like he'll do it in his stories, Renee. So they'll like delete.
Go away now.
Yeah.
Dexter Darden, who's playing Muhammad Ali, he's Instagram crazy. So if you want to see, he's talking about it a lot on his Instagram. If you want to check that out,
we'll go follow him. What's the name?
Yeah.
Dexter Darden.
Dexter Darden. Yeah.
Darden. It's like Garden, but with a D.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I met Dexter a year and a half ago because we worked on Half Baked Totally High together.
Yes, nice. I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
That comes out
the 16th.
in 8 days, but I don't even know if it's gonna. It looks like they're just gonna like make DVDs. I don't know what's going on with this thing.
The one thing that I saw when you sent me the link, it does say it has like DVDs, but then it also says video on demand on the 16th also.
Right. So I don't know if it'll be
Apple,
if it'll be Netflix. Nobody can tell me anything, and I'm not. Yeah, I mean,
wait a minute. So you're going to be in Half Baked.
The
sequel. It's a sequel. It's called Totally High. It's about their kids.
Yep.
And are you a parent or are you a totally high?
I play a detective trying to catch those kids with their drones.
All right. Are you a totally high detective?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how far they're gonna. When we shot it, I was supposed to be. There's Ritalin, and then there's what's the 180 from Ritalin? Because Ritalin gets you all jacked up, and then I'm on the other thing. I'm on.
Oh, you're on downers.
Yeah, but they're prescription drugs that I take way too much of, and so I'm very sleepy and kind of laid back. But I don't, again, we shot that a year and a half ago in Baton Rouge. I don't even know how much I'm still in the movie.
Right.
We'll find out. But it was the first time I've been in a straight up comedy, which was a lot of fun. I got to work with David Koechner, which he's a hoot. He's a really nice guy. We're not buddies, but we got to know each other, and you guys know who David Koechner? He's the sportscaster on Anchorman. That's David.
Oh, okay, yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's David Koechner. He's old school Second City Chicago guy, actor, comedian, stand up. Yeah. So and Dexter is the star of that movie. Mm-hmm. He's the lead guy. He plays the son. Basically, he's the son of Dave Chappelle's character, JR.
Okay.
Something like that. Yep.
And Dexter was also in the sequel of Saved by the Bell.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not. Yeah, I think
Devontae. Yeah.
I think he's a Disney kid, from what I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice fellow. Cool. Really nice fellow.
Makes it a high detective. I mean.
Yeah. Again, we have this interrogation scene where I fall asleep in the middle of it. So yes.
So technically not a high one. He's just really low.
Yeah, very low. Just whatever. Yeah, that's my deal. But it has some other Southeast actors. A guy named Justin Miller who's in it, who's going to be like one of the main bad guys. He's got a huge role in it, and I'm hoping that it really kind of gets him out there because he's a very talented guy. He and his God Almighty, Nate, don't get old. Do not get old. I mean, I like this guy's a friend of mine, and I can't remember his name right now. I'm so embarrassed.
It happens.
He'll come back. Huh? Anyway, I mean, there's something wrong with my brain, obviously. Jonathan Pulowski and Justin Miller, they've got this. I'm going to give them a shout out. They've got this really cool. You guys should check it out. It's on YouTube. It's a series of short little, it's like a web series. That's the word I'm looking for, called Baby Bird, and it is awesome. It's hilarious, and it's very well made. They shot it. Took them a long time to make it, but Baby Bird on YouTube. Check it out with Jonathan Pulowski and Justin Miller. Those guys are fucking. I hope it's Justin Miller. I'm having another aneurysm now, I think. Anyway, but they're brilliant, funny, good actors, great actors.
Justin Miles.
Justin Miles. I'm so sorry, Justin Miles. I know Jonathan really well. Jonathan used to be one of my students. We know each other very well. He's edited a lot of films that I've been in. Justin, I don't know that well. I've only met him a few times. He's a wonderful actor, though. Got a great look. So I hope that this propels him to whatever he's looking to do, because he's really good too. Anyway, yeah. Baby Bird, check it out.
So question for you about comedy stuff. Because I mean, comedy really, it hasn't been your background or your forte.
No, I want to do more of it though. I used to do a lot of comedy theater, but I haven't quite been able to bridge that gap over to film and TV.
Yeah, so actually, Meg in our chat was wondering, is that something you might, I don't know, honestly pursue, like trying to maybe try to get more gigs doing comedy?
I would love to do more comedy. It's just that the way that I look I don't have the people don't see me as a comedy guy. So, and I've done a lot of serious, dark drama, and so that I kind of gotten pegged in that. I'm still stuck in my head about calling him Justin Miller. I apologize. Justin Miles. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, I would love to do more comedy. I mean, I think I'm pretty funny. I can be, and because really good comedy comes from reality of the people who are just dealing with whatever they're dealing with. It just happens to be funny to watch. Like, oh, those poor bastards, that kind of thing. And I've been thinking about now that I've made this one short film and this other little thing that I did that are very serious, that I'd like to do something funny. And I'm not a comedy writer. I need help in that department. So
how would you describe your sense of humor? Would you say that you're just kind of like, obviously for comedy, for everybody's different. Like I love dark humor. I'm on dark humor.
Yeah. Oh, I love. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
I have a few exceptions to this, but I'm not a fan of just like gross out comedy. But I do like some of the one of my movie I've watched, I don't know, a dozen times is Talladega Nights. I can watch that movie over and over and over.
Yeah.
But on the other 180 degrees from that, Shaun of the Dead is fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Love that movie.
There's a huge, or any of those films from those guys, because there's a difference. Or what's the Hot Fuzz, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you watch a film like Hot Fuzz versus Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, or any of that kind of, in America, they hire funny people who can riff, and they just turn the camera on and let shit happen. Whereas you make a movie like Hot Fuzz or Paul or any of their films, it's scripted, and it's funny because of the people and the situation and the script and how the camera works and how they work inside the frame. And they're not, one is not right and the other's not wrong. It's just that it's very different. I would work better in that British style because I can't riff. I'm not that guy.
Not an improv guy.
No, and I was a little, I'll be honest, working on Half Baked, that's how they rolled. And I'm like, I'm here with all these funny people, and what's the script say? Just tell me the words,
Yeah.
There's a couple of times like, okay, I got to rise up here. So I called a buddy of mine who's a stand-up guy and a good friend. And he's like, you just need to write all your ideas, just write everything down and make lists and stuff, and you'll have some funny things that might be usable in the moment based upon what's happening. And that helped a lot, but it's just not something I don't have the talent. That's not my gift, know?
Yep.
Whereas someone like Will Ferrell or David Koechner, that's their gift. That's their thing. They're good actors too, but they got that. I worked on Anchorman 2, and I watched Will Ferrell on set one day, and it was just like, yeah, that's incredible. None of that shit's in the script. He's just making stuff up, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And Adam McKay was the director, and we were doing my little, like, literally 5-second bit of that movie. He's over there going, "Say this now. Do this. Now say this. Now say this." He's just throwing lines at me the whole time because I'm like, okay, I'm just your puppet. Just give it to me because I got.
I can say it. Just
Yeah, just throw me the line. I'll say it. And that's how those guys work, and that's not how I'm wired.
You could just blame the fact that your character had a knife in his head. You know what I mean? You can just blame it on that, honestly.
Yeah, it's a funny thing with actors. We sometimes get in our, my character should have a name. I should be Bob Daniels or something like that. But that character is listed as guy with knife in head. And if it said Bob Daniels, you wouldn't know who I was. Yeah. Like, well, that's the guy with a knife in his head. That's the correct title for that character.
Yeah.
A Bowie knife, no less.
Yeah, not just a knife, a Bowie knife.
I saw that on IMDb, and I could not stop laughing. I was like, that is so funny.
I mean, I'm literally, if you've seen that movie, it's like That's it. That just boom. That's it. And it was
but it might have been that part. Your part might have been small, but the experience, like you're saying, how many people get to say that they got to just sit and watch Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah. I was literally like, I was going to ruin the shot. I'm like, I couldn't hold. I was like, and the wonderful thing is, it was the scene in Anchorman 2 where he's blind and he's in the doctor's office with the doctor. And the guy that played the doctor was a good friend of mine named Wilbur Fitzgerald, who's a local Atlanta guy. And Wilbur's just, maybe you could be a sage, And McKay's like, say this, just throwing lines at him. And I'm just watching the monitor cracking up. Wilbur was just great, just stoic, very serious, saying ridiculous things. And so to Wilbur, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, the experiences that, I love doing theater. If I could get paid to do theater, what they pay to do film and TV, I would only do theater. But film and TV is where you get to have those experiences. They're brief, but it's beautiful. Like, hanging out with Terrence Howard and freaking Samuel Jackson. How fucking cool is that? We're not friends. I don't have their numbers in my phone, but I just got to watch them work, chat with them for a minute. And it's just like, this is pretty cool. A million people would trade places with me right now. I'm sorry, I'm talking way too much.
No, you're not. That's why you're here.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Jayson, this is not the first time you've been on our podcast. You should know by now, the more you talk, the less we have to.
Let him go.
Yeah, just let him run.
Let him run. Put another quarter in him. He'll be fine. Well, that's the end of those stories. Go ahead. Yes.
Well, we got to talk about your Western look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which I said, I think right in the pre-show, if there's a look that just
right
Western, I mean,
I know
you nailed it. Like your character's like perfect. You're perfect for that character.
I agree. Sorry to be so egotistical, but I agree 100%. Man.
The first thing I said when it popped out, I started watching. I'm like, he's really got this. Like, he's got this Western thing down.
Yeah.
This is Jayson.
And I grew up riding horses. I grew up shooting guns. I mean, it's like, and the thing is, I'm based in Atlanta. I'm based in Georgia. And I work mostly here and in New Orleans, a little bit in North Carolina, but I've never worked outside of this southeastern base. The furthest west I've been is Galveston, right? They don't make Westerns here because we don't really have the scenery. Now, actually, they're filming a Western in Florida right now that several people I know are in. And I'm not going to get into the minutia here, but I thought I was going to get a crack at it, but it didn't. It fell through. But they're shooting it in Florida. I don't know anything much about it, but I've seen some behind the scenes pictures, and they're all look like cowboys. But yeah, and I think I read for the Magnificent Seven when they remade that. My good friend Mark Ashworth worked on that. He played the preacher in town, and I didn't make the cut, but I really want to do a Western really bad.
So those watching and listening, it's called Red West, correct?
Yep. It's an homage to Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. Have you guys ever read that?
In the show notes. So if anybody wants to see it, just look in our show notes there, and the link for that is there as well.
Yeah, Red West.
Yeah. The title of Cormac McCarthy's book is called Blood Meridian or The Evening Redness in the West. That's the name of the novel it's based on. It's not that my thing is pulled from. So I read on Deadline that John Hillcoat, who directed The Road, Viggo Mortensen, which is a Cormac McCarthy novel adaptation, had been tapped to direct a film adaptation of Blood Meridian. Now, this thing they have been trying to make a film of Blood Meridian since 1985. It's fallen through 4 or 5 times. James Franco tried. Tommy Lee Jones tried. Scorsese tried. It's just never happened.
Mm.
And mainly because it's extremely violent, like crazy violent. And there's a character in there called the Judge that is going to be extremely hard to cast because he's supposed to be like 6'4", bald and albino.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a very, very iconic Cormac McCarthy character called the Judge. And, you know, I think of like Vincent D'Onofrio, you know, Brando when he was younger, you know, those kind of people. That's a very, 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 it's kind of like Confederacy of Dunces. You really need a specific actor for that lead role. And anyway, so John Hillcoat supposedly got tapped to do it. Now, this is before Cormac McCarthy died last year. So I thought instead of waiting around until I get lucky enough to maybe get an audition, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot my audition now. So that's what Red West is.
Nice.
Really?
There's a character called the ex-priest Tobin, and he's like one of the few characters in the whole novel that talks much. The novel's mostly just description. I don't know if you've ever read Cormac McCarthy. He writes in a very, very particular way that a lot of people have a hard time dealing with. He doesn't punctuate much. It's just run on. But it's amazing style that he has. Anyway, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to pull the money out of my pocket. Ruckus and Lane wrote it, directed it. Another name I can't remember. Bill Burton, a friend of theirs, as a DP, and everybody was like, "We got nothing to do. Let's do something." It's during the strike, actually. Well, is it during the strike? It was right before the strike. But everybody, you know, everything is shut down. So, yeah, SAG-AFTRA. It was before the strike. We shot it, and yeah, and I just, you know, I paid for it, and the most expensive part was the set. We had to pay, you know, half of our budget was just the location, and then names. God damn it! I'll come back to it. But anyway, we shot it in 1 day. And then Ruckus did the editing on it, and he put it all together. It took a while because it's a back burner project for him, and just threw it out there. So I just want everybody in the world to see it. I want them to send it to everybody they know. Hopefully, eventually, it'll land in front of John Hillcoat, and he might go, "Hey, this guy." I'm not looking for a lead role. I just want to be. If this project does get made, I just want to be in it somewhere. Yeah. Third guy on the horse from the right. I don't care. I just want to be in this movie because I imagine they're going to shoot it, you know, out west of America or Canada somewhere, Mexico, because it takes place on the kind of Texas, Mexico, Arizona, New Mexico, that area, and I just want to be in it so bad. So that's why I made it. It's purely like a very extravagant audition. It's just like, this is what I look like. You know, I don't expect, I mean, they're going to hire Guy Pearce or somebody to play a part like, you know, the big parts. I just want to be there. So if anybody's watching, John Hillcoat, please send him a link.
And we'll make sure that it gets a little bit more traction by
thank you very much.
Taking it, sharing it, spreading the word.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about a 9-minute audition you put out there.
Well, it didn't start that way. It started much smaller, but Ruckus and Lane like, "No, we're going to turn it into this." I'm like, "All right, fine, we'll turn it into something." But yeah, I mean, it was just like, I just want you guys to write me. I want you to create a script from this novel. So there's 3 sections of that bit. You might have noticed it's like the beginning, a middle, and an end. It's 3 different parts of the novel, and they're like, you know, way apart from each other. And we just kind of smushed it into one little bit. With the kid, the main character of the entire novel. The whole thing is from the kid's perspective. Bryce Heller is the young man's name who played that role. And I knew Bryce from theater here in Atlanta. I saw him in a play by some good friends of mine, the Vernal and Sayre Theater Company, and he was outstanding in it. I can't remember the name of the play right now, but then I ended up working with him on a movie that's on Showtime right now called You Are Killing Me. And he's the main bad guy in that. And we got to know each other a little bit better. And so when we were doing this thing, I'm like, he was the top of my list. I'm like, I want Bryce to do this. And he said, yes. I just said, well, the camera's going to be on me most of the time, so get used to that. It's like, I don't care. I'm fine. I'm like, okay, good. Yeah.
So what part of like history would this be from? If it, if like dated and everything.
It's pre-Civil War.
Okay.
And this is the historical backbone that it's on top of. There was a group called the Glanton, Glanton, the Glanton Gang. They were just a whole bunch of evil white dudes, mostly, along with some Delaware Indians and some black guys. And they were scalp hunters. So the Mexican government, the Mexican government would pay $100 for every dead Indian scalp that you brought them. Wow. So they were basically hired murderers, and they would go out and murder Indians, scalp them, take the scalps to this town in Mexico and get a bunch of money for them, and then party in that town until they ran out of money, and then just go out and do it again. It's just pure fucking evil. Yep. And when they ran out of Indians, they started killing Mexicans because their hair is the same color. I mean, they're just evil incarnate. And so the kid ends up hooking up with the Glanton gang, and at the time this guy named the Judge is also running with the Glanton gang, and so that's kind of like we have a little moment of getting to that, and then they're there, and then it's just them murdering Indians for a long time. And
so that group is the what would be the modern day mercenary.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a gang of outlaws that are killing people for money, sport and money,
right?
And legally.
Wow.
And yeah, now not so legally in the United States, but this was like back when it was just territory,
right?
Like West Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, that area,
the wild west,
fucking wild west, and there's a vast array of amazing characters. A guy named Toadvine who has like a brand on his forehead because I think it's a T because he's a horse thief, and this guy Tobin. There's the main guy Glanton that runs the gang, and then there's Black Johnson and White Johnson, these two guys, and then there's the kid, and of course the Judge, and so it's this vast. But 90% of these guys they're me, and I'm like, okay, I got to fit in there somewhere.
Right.
I'm not famous. I'm not, Guy Pearce. I'm not Viggo Mortensen, but there's other smaller characters that I could fill one of those roles because I got the skills, I got the look, let's do this. And those people have never heard of me, so I'm just like, here I am.
I like it.
That's what that was all about.
That's how you get yourself out there. You just do it.
Well, I'm trying. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It may be, $1,000 out the windows for that thing, but we'll find out.
I will say when this gets traction and goes forward. If you need guy number 6 standing next to horse, I will be there. I will help you out. I will stand next to a horse.
Thank you, Ryan. I'll keep you on my short list.
Anything I can do to support you,
Yeah.
If there's a shortage of bearded white guys, I'll just grow this out and you let me know.
There you go. Yep. It is definitely it's not a comedy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Saloon patron, maybe we could go that route with it.
There you go. So that's what that is, and that's why I made it. And again, at Ruckus and Lane, we get along great, and we enjoy working with each other. And one more pitch for them: The Devil to Pay, which is on Netflix. I highly recommend watching that film. When we made the film, Danielle Deadweiler was not famous, but now she is.
Yes, that was an amazing movie too. That was so good.
Thank you, Renee.
Yes, loved it.
I got to work with my buddy Brad Carter again, who plays my brother in the short film. Yeah, he's a Georgia boy too. He's from Macon, Georgia, and
Macon.
yeah, right dead in the center of the state, hottest
Macon.
fucking place on earth, next to Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah. It's the hottest place on earth.
Never been. Yeah, never been. The only thing that I can ever relate to Macon always brings me back to the Telltale's Walking Dead video game. That's it.
Oh yeah,
it brings me back to Macon. Every time someone
there you go
says Macon, I'm like, well, I played a character who went to Macon once.
Yep.
And I know that actually Carrie Gonzalez, she just moved to Macon.
Yeah, yep, she lives there. Yep.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Carrie Gonzalez.
She was in season 11 of The Walking Dead.
I had stopped watching by that point.
Yeah.
She's also been in like a million other things as well. She,
Oh yeah, she's done a ton of stuff. But that's just
Yeah, I kept hoping that Scott Gimple would have like the Negan story and like call me back in, but
we keep saying that with Tales of the Walking Dead, you could very easily have stories like that. I mean, they brought
we want to see those stories.
They brought back Stephen Ogg. I mean,
oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, where's
in Dead City?
In Dead City, there's a flashback.
They just had like a flashback scene, so that was pretty cool.
I haven't seen that one. Yeah, Steven is such a cool guy. You know, he plays these really shitty characters, but he is such a nice fellow.
He's
very zen, cool cat.
Yes,
yeah. On social media, he is a wild dude.
You just never know what's going to pop up on his Insta feed.
I know.
Most of the time, it's mostly nude.
Yeah,
there you go. He made it. He was just. They were just him and Austin and Mullet. What's his name? Dermot.
Oh, Josh. Yeah.
Josh McDermott.
They were like the three amigos, and I was like the new guy that got thrown in their mix. I was trying to make friends with them, but they were kind of like, we're our clique, and you're here, but we got our thing going on. I mean, they weren't like, it wasn't like high school, but it was close. But anyway, we started playing, this game, that kind of shit. I mean, it was just, it was fun hanging out with them. But Steven was always really nice. And we don't keep in touch, but I can reach out to him, and he's always nice enough to write back and say howdy. But yeah, not those other two guys. Look out! I'm being upstage. Hello,
Zachary.
Hello, Zachary.
Like, what's going on?
He's like, what is this? Hey, dude.
Like you're doing this weird thing again with these people.
Hi, Zachary. Yeah. How old is Zachary?
He'll be 6 months on Monday.
Good Lord.
Yeah. 1 week. Say hi.
The brain is still figuring out what the world is right now.
Oh, right? I know.
Oh, and look at it. Made Chris freeze. So
Oh, there we go.
There he is.
Yeah. It's fun. We're learning. Right?
Yep.
We're learning.
You got dogs running around.
Dog running around. Yep. Where's the dog going?
Family, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I think that's all I've got. There is one other thing. If you guys want to hear, what happened there? I missed it.
No, you're good. Don't worry.
Okay. I don't want to upstage Zachary's time.
No. He's just he's a me. That's all I can.
I got you.
He's a me.
Yeah, a little more hair than you, but so far so good.
Yeah, a little bit more. And it's red, so there's that.
I made a film. I've made 2 little indie films that haven't seen the light of day yet. One is called Squatters' Rights. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. We finally we had to do reshoots a year after we shot it. And supposedly it's going to be finished soon. And there's going to be a premiere. So I'll find out what it's like when I go see it, and I'll tell you more about it later.
Please do.
There's that. And the guy that made it's a cat out of Atlanta named Man Robinson. And he is like the next Tyler Perry. He's doing everything he can to kind of like rise to that level. And it'll probably be on Tubi or Peacock or stuff like that. I may, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. And then this past summer, on during the strike, but we got a waiver, or what do they call it? An agreement. We shot a film called American Deadbolt, and our star is Jeff Fahey. You guys know Jeff Fahey?
Yeah.
Right. Well, he's our star. But the rest of the actors are all local, and we shot it out in Athens, Georgia. And it's really interesting. It's kind of the entire film takes place in one room. Mm-hmm. It's like a safe room at a restaurant that this guy built, and we think there's a terrorist attack going on, and we've locked the door, and we're inside the room, and it's 5 people working out politics and anger and positions of power for an hour and a half. And I haven't seen a frame of it. I don't know what the process is with it right now, but it was made by a local guy out of Athens, Georgia, named Chris Redding. No, Chris Hines and Brian Redding. Brian Redding is the director, writer. Chris Hines, producer. And I need to write. I was going to write him today to say what's going on with that. But that's another little project called American Deadbolt.
Very nice. That sounds cool.
Yeah, that sounds very cool.
Right up my
yeah, and it's got a great local cast, and hopefully it won't suck. Hopefully it'll be really good.
I Googled American Deadbolt, and I go to the actual website for American Deadbolt, and the first thing I see is a video paused, and it's Jayson doing this.
That's right.
You mean
right. He goes, do that again. This is going to be on the poster. Like, all right. Yep, that's the project. So I don't know what the status is on that. We'll see. And Squatters' Rights is. I really enjoyed the Squatters' Rights thing. It's like 2 guys going at it, fighting over this house, and squatters, and they're both ex-military, both PTSD, and one black, one white. I'm the white guy, and I don't know. I haven't seen it. Well, let's see how it turns out. I kind of turned into a bit of a monster, not a literal monster, but a bit of a human monster. It's at a certain point. So it was a lot of fun to work on. We'll see what happens.
The squatter thing is real right now.
Right.
It's real right now.
Yeah, Man's made a lot of films. He works really fast, really well, and this one he goes, this is my real piece. This is he's always saying this is my serious piece. I'm like, okay, good. Let's see how it turns out. Let's see how you make this come together. So we'll find out. But that's about all the news from here, man. If y'all have any questions,
man.
Yeah, you've been very busy.
Trying to stay busy, yeah. Matter of fact, that's why I gotta bug out here in a few minutes, because I got a freaking audition I got to shoot in 30 minutes.
Well, good.
Yeah, something that shoots in Vancouver. We'll see what happens.
Oh, very cool.
Well, very nice. It works out.
It probably won't. It most likely won't. But if I audition 100 times and I book 2, that's a good day. That's a good year.
Yeah,
that's how this business rolls, guys. It is a numbers game.
From our perspective, it's always cool seeing you guys on screen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just seeing you pop up is really cool.
Yeah.
And even with with your experience with the horseback riding and and obviously riding motorcycles, everything that you have in your background. Have you ever I know that there's so many shows that are on back burners right now, but what's it the 666 Ranch?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've been hearing about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a shit ton of Westerns going on. The whole,
that's all that,
Sheridan thing and that whole world. I'm like, hello, I'm here.
I'm over here.
Whoa. Hell or High Water is one of my favorite movies of all time. I want to work with this guy, Taylor Sheridan. Yeah, it's like, it's just I don't know. I live in Atlanta, so they come here, they hire me here. They don't think about flying me somewhere else. So that's part of my job to try to get myself known. So it's a business, baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you knock it out of the park in your, whatever you got coming up and what you look, honestly, if you want it, I hope you get it. Honestly, that's the way. I wish that was the way it was for everybody, right? Like you just get what you want.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But at the end of every day, you put the work in. So, that's all you can really be proud. You'd be proud of the fact you put the work in, and if it happens, then God bless.
From an actor's perspective, all we can do as actors is do our thing, and then we're done.
Yeah. Yep. Right.
There's so many things that are completely out of our control, unless I'm going to start funding these things or producing these things. But if I'm just wanting someone to hire me, here's what I would do if you hired me.
Right.
They either go yes or they go nope.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of the story. And that's something that we as actors have to come to grips with. We're going to have to just keep throwing it at them. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here's how I would do it. Here's what I would do. Here's my take on it. Here's what I have to bring. Yep. And they go, no, and then they look at, what's their status, what's their box office, or do we just love them, or all of those things. So it's completely out of our control. So that rejection is, the thing we deal with 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even, rejection is a rough word, but it's just, no is what we get most of the time.
Sure. Yeah.
Imagine, for the regular non-acting world type person that, if you had to go to 110 interviews to get a job, most people couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. An audition's an interview.
Yeah.
Right. So. Now, when you go, this one you have to do, is this something you're going to record and send, or are you actually physically?
Yep. Got my, you can't see it, but I got my equipment set up. I'm waiting for a friend to come over, and there's a script over here. Called Irrational, The Irrational. It shoots in Vancouver. It's on NBC, I think. It's like big time,
It's on Peacock, The Irrational.
Yeah. It's a TV show. Yes. Okay. And, I've got 8 pages of dialogue here, which I didn't have time to memorize, so I'll have the script in my hand. We'll see what happens. I'm supposed to be from Romania. So this will be very interesting to see what that sounds like when I actually do it. Does that sound like Romania? So we'll see.
Well, good luck to you, brother.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
I hope you get it. Seriously.
Well, yeah, the odds are about 1 in a million, but thank you very much.
So you're gonna win the lotto.
There you go. Let's scratch that bitch off, baby.
Well, I can safely say that I want you to get it more than the other people.
Right.
There you go. I got Ryan's support. Guys, I got to say goodnight.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, no. Thank you, guys. Thank you for keeping the show alive. Thank you for giving me a shout. Thank you for giving me your time, letting me ramble on. And I hope maybe I'll come down to the camp and see y'all in person.
You should. Yeah, we would love it. Mm-hmm.
So we can revisit this with a new look.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Somehow I'll have more facial hair and you'll have less.
Exactly. I probably will still be clean shaven. Yes, exactly. Right. All right, guys. I got to say goodnight.
All right. Good luck. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, everybody.
Okay, bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Renee, Chris, and Ryan going live. Best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa, hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry. Subscribe and like if you can, please, or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.